Hello everybody and welcome. Please join Milo and me for a wonderful hike along some gorgeous island sea bluffs on Hornby Island and share a campfire and dinner and an overnight van camp. At the end I want to share with you where I'm going on my grand winter adventure, so stay tuned to the end. Well, we've made it. We're here at Helliwell Park on Hornby Island. We're just heading up the trail from the parking lot out towards the bluffs, and that's really where I wanted to be. It's a beautiful forest. And yeah, coming along with Milo is great fun. But he does add a whole other dimension to trying to film and do things. But he is an enjoyable little fellow, and he is very good company. All right, Milo, let's go. Well, we're slowly losing the sun. It's still up, but I want to get to the campsite before it goes completely down and set up camp and get a chair out and maybe get a fire going. But yeah, wasn't that a terrific walk? This is an absolutely gorgeous place, and I've never come in the winter before. It's as beautiful in the winter as at any other season. It's all just a little bit different. It was pretty quiet today. There's certainly people here, but they're well spread out. And yeah, it's great. So I'm glad you came along. Thanks very much. And we're not finished yet for the day. So come on, let's go back and let's go find our campsite and plug in, which is something I rarely get to do. So I'm just going to savor it and put on that little electric heater tonight and keep Milo and myself nice and toasty warm. So, all right, we'll go find the van. Well, that was really fun. I enjoyed that. Oh, okay, I'm going to stop at the little store if it's open and going to get a treat. Well, I've just backed into the campsite, and here we are. I've got an electrical hookup at the back. Milo's out here enjoying being out, and here's the view. The low island over there is Denman Island, where we've stayed before at Falonglay Park, and then at the very back behind Denman, where the snow is on the mountains, that's Vancouver Island. So it's a pretty nice spot. So yeah, and I got some chips at the store. So after I get everything set up, get a fire going, then I'll sit down and get a hot drink, and I'll have some chips. Oh, and I got to feed Milo. Don't let me forget. He won't let me forget. Trust me. Well, I don't know how long I'm going to last out here. It's pretty cold. But I'm going to at least have a bit of a fire and say that I did sit out for a little while. Anyway, Milo and I are in, and the fire was great, but it's dying down, and I didn't want to keep, building it up. I was going to cook a hamburger on my little twig stove, but I just decided not to do it because I think I'm windy outdoors is feeling like being windy indoors. So I'm in, and so I've made a small adjustment. I think what I want to do is I'm going to make a hamburger patty, but I'm going to do it on the stove in here. I brought some salad, and I was going to make some flatbread, which I still am going to do. So I'm going to work on that because it takes a little bit of time. It has to rest and for 5 minutes and 15 minutes, and I've never done it before. So I'm going to show you what I'm doing, and if it works, great. If it doesn't, well, it's not a huge loss, and I'm not going to go hungry. So anyway, this is what I saw on a YouTube video, and so I'll share it with you, and we'll see what happens, and we'll see if the recipe works. Okay, the recipe that I watched said use regular flour and then add baking powder and salt, but I have some self-raising flour that I want to use, and that just has some leavening like baking powder in it already. I'm going to add some salt, and I'm not going to make the whole recipe because I don't want a whole lot of flatbreads. I just want enough for tonight. So I probably got less than a cup of self-raising flour in here. And then I'm just going to add a bit of salt, not very much. And then the secret ingredient is yogurt. So I'm not, it looked like the recipe said equal amounts of flour to yogurt. I'm going to be a little bit careful because I don't have a lot of extra flour to sort of help it out. So I'm probably going to put in about 3/4 of a cup, and I might use the rest of it, but we'll see how it goes when I do. Okay, I actually looked in the cupboard, and I've got a little bit of regular flour still left from packing this summer, which I hadn't emptied, which is good. I don't need it yet, but what I've got here is pretty much an equal amount of yogurt and self-raising flour with a bit of salt. So it just said to mix that up and bring it into a soft ball, which I've got, and then you leave it for to rest for 5 minutes, and then you put a little bit more flour on it, knead it some more, and then rest it. But we'll go one step at a time. So right now I'm just going to leave this to rest for 5 minutes, and then we'll go on and see what else happens. Okay, I've given it a rest for 5 minutes. So I'm just going to sprinkle it with a bit more flour. Bring a little more flour than you think you're going to need. And now I've coated it with a bit of flour, and I'm just going to knead it until it's just until it's a nice ball. And so I'm just going to work at it. Okay, there it is. Just put a little bit of flour down there. And I say it's not a yeast bread, so it's not going to perform the same, but it's nicely put together. And so now you just put a cloth over it. I can't remember if you're supposed to cut it first or rest it, but I think I'll rest it for another 5 minutes. Then I'll cut it into the shape, and then I'll leave it 15 minutes. Somewhere along the line, you leave it 15 minutes. So I told you this was an experiment. I should have written down the instructions, right? But, you know, I don't know how far wrong can you go. Well, we're going to find out. Okay, now what I'm going to do is cut this little bit of dough. All right, now what I'm supposed to do, evidently, is roll them into a bit of a ball. Well, after heating the griddle, I rolled each ball out into a rough circle, and then one at a time I lightly browned each side. I really wasn't sure how thin to roll them, but it was pretty clear by the time I got to number 3. Okay, this one is thinner. We'll see how it goes. Okay, so you can see the bubbles coming up on it. Let's give it another minute. Well, not even a minute. Just got to keep a watch on it. Oh, look, that's getting better. Good. Okay, let's turn that over. Well, that one looks best. I think the secret is maybe you've got to roll it thinner. I've done small, medium, and very, this is the thinnest one. And it's definitely puffing up the most. So, okay, so when we do this again, we got to make the dough really, really thin. Oh, look at, that's really puffed up. That's good. There. Wow, look at that one. That's a really good one. That's what it was supposed to look like. So the bread dough needs to be very thin. All right. Well, this is a live and learn. Oh, wow, look at that. That's what it looked like in the video. Okay, this looks good. I've got my flatbread garlic bread. I've got a hamburger patty with some relish, and I've made some very simple salad with an oil and vinaigrette dressing. So I'm just going to sit here and I'm just going to enjoy this. And I'll see you after dinner. Well, my assessment of that dinner was, it was pretty good. And I have to say that putting the melted butter with a bit of a grated garlic, I also added a little bit of some herbs I had, rosemary, thyme, and oregano. I had in a bottle as dried last summer, and the bread was really, really good. But I did eat the one that was the thinnest and rose the most, and I think that's what you want to aim for. So I'm just going to sit and have a cup of tea. There's not a lot more to be done on a winter night. I'm going to pack it in after I clean up and walk the dog. I'll see you in the morning. Good morning. Here we are. Another great morning. Out of doors, kind of. I have to confess, I really enjoyed having that plug-in. I had this little electric heater that we have plugged in all night. Milo must have been very comfortable because I heard him get up and go and get a drink of water at one point, but otherwise he was snug, quiet, relaxed on his bed all night, and I was snug, quiet, and relaxed on my bed all night. And I think we were undercover for probably 9 or 10 hours. So no, it was a very good night. I heard the rain in the night, and it's very overcast this morning and damp, chilly. But so far, the weather is holding as far as wind and snow and other forecasted weather reports, and I should be able to get home fine. So I'm just having a quick breakfast this morning. I've got some yogurt and some granola with some blueberries, and I'm going, if I still want something to eat, I'm going to eat another one of these flatbread. So, which, you know, may or may not happen. But I've got plenty of food. Milo's had some breakfast, and he's been outside in the yard on his rope for a little while, but he seems happy to come back in again. Don't you, Milo? Such a good boy. Such a good dog. Yes, so I say the plug-in was a great asset, and I can see why people do it. I mean, I know it's there, but, you know, I have this thing about wanting to do fires and be out, but this was pretty fine, and especially for the very beginning of January. I might be a convert to van life with electrical hookups. So I didn't have to worry about the battery. It's great. All right, I'm going to just get into this, and then it's going to be time for a quick pack up. Overall, for the time of year here, this was a very successful overnight. Beautiful day yesterday. Great walk. Good sleep, good food, fun making flatbread, and I'm ready to go home again. Before we go, I'm going to announce where I'm going on my grand winter adventure in a week's time. I am going to go back to the Yukon. Yes, in the middle of January, I am going to make a vacation trip to the Yukon. And I'll tell you why. I've never experienced minus 20 or minus 30 or minus 40. I'm hoping it's not quite that cold, but anyway, I don't know when it gets to be just cold. I've never experienced a northern winter, which many Canadians have. Just because by virtue of living on Vancouver Island, which is a much more temperate area, it's the warmest place in Canada, on southern Vancouver Island, and that's where I've lived all my life basically. And so I made a new friend this summer while I was up there, who lives in Whitehorse, and she invited me to come and stay at her house. So I'm going to stay with her and her husband for a couple of days, and then I'm going to go to a lodge outside of Whitehorse, and they have sled dogs. So I'm going to get to go with some sled dogs. I'm going to go ice fishing. I'm also going to do some snowmobiling and eat some good food, and maybe see the Aurora Borealis, which I hope I do. I'll be up in that area for 7 nights, so the chances are fairly high that at least one of those nights I might see the Aurora. So this is my big adventure. Most people choose to go somewhere warm, and I'm going to go north instead. And I just fell in love with the Yukon. For any of you who watched my Yukon series, I'm sure you could see how excited and happy I was about that marvelous trip. And so I am very much looking forward to this adventure. I don't know how much filming I'm going to be able to do because there'll be other people around. But I will be able to take some photos and some video, and I'll stitch something together so that I can share some of this adventure with you. And I'm very optimistic about it. A little bit nervous about being in that much cold, but it's new, right? And I love something new, and this is going to be new for me. All right, for those of you who spend a lot of time in the cold, you'll be laughing at me, and that's fine. But I'm pretty keen on it. So I'll after I come back, I'll share what I can with you about my upcoming adventure. So thanks again for coming with me on this little West Coast adventure on Hornby Island. It was a wonderful time, and I'll see you in the Yukon.